All right, I guess I better get these things out of here. Oh, my PA speaker. In the early days of Be Cool Cowboy. There it is. Can you see it in there? Can you see it right there? It's my record player. Ugh. What else do we got back there? I need a vacuum in here. Got him. I got my own payphone. So I decided I'm going to be getting rid of all my records in my turntable. This is a small portion of all the records that I own. There's a bunch more at my parents' house. I got a pretty dope turntable. It's a Technics SL 1210 Mark II. Probably the last like real turntable they made. And then, I don't know, maybe I got, what is that, 50 records? I don't even know. So I guess a big reason why I'm going to be getting rid of all my records is that at the heart of the issue, I'm just not a record guy. I'm not really into the whole idea of collecting something, and it's something I didn't realize for a long time. Friends came over, I think about a year ago, and were looking through my records, and there were two guys that I was really influenced by when I was younger, because they were really good friends of mine. And of course, you're always influenced by the people closest to you. You are the combination of the 5 people you hang around with the most. When I was younger, getting into music, I used to work at Tower Records. I was 15, it was my first job, and it was right around the year 2000, and right around the time when CDs were falling out of favor, kind of the tail end of the CD era. So I kind of grew up more as a CD kid. I grew up more as a CD era person, and I have a huge CD collection as well. And that's really what it comes down to. If I'm any sort of music format collector, it would be a CD collector. And one of the biggest things that I realized, and probably why I think making this video is important for me today, at the heart of who I am, I'm just not a record collector. That was my friend's thing. That was not my thing. I was only influenced by what other people were doing because it seemed like the cool thing to do, or as somebody who's into music, it seems like a logical thing to want to collect. But collecting records and listening to records, like physical records, like it just doesn't do anything for me. I think it's amazing. I think the format is really cool. I think it looks really cool, but I'm just not a record guy. When I had my job at Tower Records, I saved up a lot of money to buy a really nice record player and to have a really nice stereo. But before I got those things, I used to use my friend Greg's old speakers and an amp that I got from my grandfather. And I used to listen to my iPod all the time and just hook that up, or I had a CD player that I hooked up to that setup as well. And I remember as a kid listening to music in my room, it was all about CDs and my iPod. And having a hand-me-down stereo that meant something to me because it was part my grandfather's, part my good friends. And honestly, I feel like that's all I had really needed. And I thought it sounded great, and I had a lot of fun listening to it, and it did what I needed it to do. But because I thought that I needed something better, or that I needed a record player, I saved up for a whole new stereo system. And I've been carrying those things along with me now for, I don't know, 15 years. Every time I've moved, I have to drag this along with me. I mean, records are cool and all, and I love listening to records, but I like listening to records, not records. So yeah, the reason I'm selling it all is because it's just not my thing, and it never was. It seems like a minor, small detail of my life, but in a way I was living a lie. It'd be like if you had a bunch of friends that were into cars, and you weren't that into cars, but just because they were your friends, you bought a bunch of cars. It's hard not to be influenced by the people that are around you, but I've just been really doing some soul searching and asking myself what it is I really want out of life. And honestly, I don't want to collect records. I don't want to listen to records. I'm perfectly content listening to Spotify. I just don't want to have a lot of stuff. Looking at these records now, they do look really cool. It's very cool to have a collection and to look at all the art and everything. It's just not me. It's just not me. And if at some point in the future I decide it is me, then I can always get another record player. I can always get another 100 records. I can always buy records and start collecting them. I think if I was going to collect any music format again, I would probably start collecting CDs. So what do you think? Are you into records? Are you into collecting records? Do you like CDs? Do you like tapes? Are there any things in your life that you feel like maybe you got into because other people around you were into that, you know, what just wasn't you? I feel like it happens a lot, and like I said, although this is a minor part of my life, I think about it a lot. And I've really been trying to examine where my thoughts go, and I just think about getting rid of this stuff a lot. And it's a great record player, and it would be great to find somebody who would really want to use this. And, you know, a lot of my records aren't worth anything, you know, and that's the whole thing about record collecting. You know, I always had a very vanilla taste in music. I like pop music, I like rock music, I like, I don't know, just music that's more mainstream. I also enjoy indie rock and indie rock bands, but it's just not my thing.
I see you're working undercover now.
This is Mike from 424recording.com. Godspeed, my friend. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. All right, I'll catch you on the flip flop.